Okay, so here's a kind of preliminary lap for Sonoma. Still kind of trying to decide whether or not I need to play with the downforce level, but so far this is what I got with high downforce plus 10 wicker. Okay, so there are at least three corners in this track that I can think of offhand here that you have to manage rotation with the throttle. This slow corner coming up here is one of those. The braking point for this corner, I I try and get on it pretty hard by the time I get to this cone. Um, Depending on how hot the track is, if the ends up being pretty hot, you'll obviously have to push that back a little further. But as long as the track's in pretty reasonable shape, you can be hard on it right up until you get to this cone. I was a little early there actually. At any rate, down to first gear for this corner, and you'll be feathering the throttle the whole time to try and manage the rotation of the car, and get back on the throttle and come out towards the wall quite a bit, trying to straighten out your acceleration. Come to the right a bit here to try and straighten out this next corner, you're not lacking for grip, but you want to try and reduce as much speed scrubbing off as you can by straightening it out. Try and apex here pretty close to the wall and come out to the right hand wall as much as you can. What we want to do is straighten out this next section as much as we can. You won't be braking until you get to the curb here. Right here, this curb. I'm just starting to make that transition to brakes here now. Usually you'll end up leaving quite a bit of room on the left here unused. Normally you'd want to make every corner as wide as you can, but this is kind of a compromise here because you also want to be braking without worrying about spinning out. So you want to straighten up as much as you can here and brake pretty hard once you get to this curb. Drop down to second gear. Apex this pretty close to that curb. Get back on the throttle and track out here as much as you can. And then you'll be hard on the gas up till this left-hander here. You'll be in fifth gear by that time. Turning in here, you might lift a bit once you're at the apex. That'll let you get over to the left a little bit to set up for this right-hander. You don't really want to slow down so much to make it all the way to the left. It's another compromise here. You'll drop down to third gear, apex, and get back hard on it. You'll make it back up to fourth. Brake by the time you get to the end of this curb, and down to second gear. Now on this lap, I apex pretty close to the curb, and you actually most of the time don't want to be this close, and you'll see why in a second. You see my car started bouncing now. There's a divot in the road, and if you actually turn in a little bit later than this and keep this corner wider by maybe not even quite a meter, just if you just come maybe half a meter wider than this, the divot won't be as bad and you won't bounce as hard. And you can see my car is kind of bouncing to the left because it's not touching the ground. So you want to be a little bit wide for that apex. So you'll be in second gear, accelerating out of here. This is all flat out until you get to the carousel, and by that time you'll be in sixth gear. No matter how many hundreds, if not thousands of times I've gone through this corner, I always feel sloppy about it. Just looking at this one, it didn't seem too bad actually, but at the time it still felt sloppy. So after braking for this, you'll drop down 2 gears to fourth, and you'll see I turn in here and hug the line pretty well. And the time you want to get back on the gas and start tracking out is like you'll be on the gas all through this trying to manage your rotation, but actually accelerating hard somewhere around when this curb on the left hand side here starts is when you want to really get back on it pretty hard. I think I hesitate a bit here. Yeah, I didn't like how the exit was going, but at any rate, you can be hard on it pretty good. It's flat out from there till the next braking point, and you shouldn't drift past that curb once you're flat out. There's enough grip to stay inside of this curb. I might just touch it a bit here. Yeah, so that's not too much of a worry. The braking zone up here is, depending on track conditions, around either the yellow or the red billboard on the left there. You'll be down to second gear, and this is another corner where you'll be managing rotation with the throttle. So I just touched that curb. You might want to just barely not touch it so you're not bouncing at all. I'm a little wide for this one, but you probably want to just clip that curb as well. Not so that your car is bouncing, but just so your tires are just barely touching that curb. And then the rest of the way here is flat out. You have to watch that you hit all these apexes, but if you're doing so, then this is all flat out until that first gear corner down there, that end of the track. As long as you're hitting all these apexes, there's enough grip. So that's the lap. I'm thinking that given the way some of these corners feel, like especially the carousel and this right, given how small the margins are on the carousel and this corner, I'm not too optimistic that going down from Wicker plus 10 is going to result in any more lap time savings. I think it's going to be fastest with plus 10. I'm going to try Wicker 0 anyways, and see how that goes. Because years ago, the last time we were at this track with this car in the official series, we were using Wicker 0. It's, it's possible that that'll be faster, but I kind of doubt it. Just by how small the margin of error is on some of these corners with plus 10. But I'll check it out anyways. So if it is faster, I'll update the setup. But for now, I've got a preliminary setup shared with plus 10. Have a good one.